Okay, I'm going to throw together a quick video on the new GM tool, Party Rolls. So, firstly, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into the sidebar to the party tracker, and you're going to notice that there's this new button here, Rolls. So, the idea behind this app is to be able to queue up and send requests to the individual owners of actors to perform a role, hence Party Rolls, role request. Um, If the owner of that actor is online, they will get the request. If they are not online, I mean, they missed a game, they're not there that night, the GM will get the request. Uh, when NPCs, when you're requesting roles from NPCs, the request is just going directly to the GM. Um, but otherwise, it's the idea behind it is fairly simple. It's you're sending requests out for a role. You're seeing that what roles are pending in a grid, a nicely organized grid by type, and then asynchronously, when these roles are being finished, it's updating that grid back on the actual client. And then you don't got to go dig through the chat looking for all the results of, mixed in with all the other stuff that's going on. You can just see everything right there, right in your face of what's been done. So let's take a look at that. The first thing you're going to want, or that you're going to notice, is that there's a drop-down control here. This is a multi-select drop-down. I didn't write this piece of trash. This is Foundry's control. Probably the most useful thing about this is the option for all. Um, the the items in this drop-down are mirroring what is in the actual party tracker. So you can see I have 3 actors in the party tracker. That's why I've only have 3 options here, 3 character options or all. But alternately, one really powerful thing that you can do is you can actually just lasso who you want to be making the request to, if they're a valid actor, of course. And you could tick use selected. Now, when you tick use selected, I'm actually remembering that so that when you close this and come back in, that'll be selected or that'll be checked. I do a lot of persistent tracking with this. This happens to be local storage right here, so if you clear your cache, it's going to forget that. But other than that, it's going to remember it. So we have 3 PCs and 3 NPCs, 3 monsters selected here, and I want a poison saving throw from all of them. So let's just click roll, and you can see it's queuing it all up in here. And then we're going to go over to chat. And in the chat, you're going to see I have these requests. We have one for the Mind Flayer. I'm holding down control to bypass the dialogue, by the way. Else, I'd get this every single time. So we'll do one for the orc. You can see the grid is updating as we're going through here. It's another reason why I hate this chat. It's like jumping around on me. Okay, so we got that, and then we'll just do, who's it, Loman and Talissa. You can see, that they go from pending to returning an actual result. Everything is organized in there, and this will stay here. If I close this and come back in, everything's there. Um, my, everything is still selected. Now, it's, when you have a character selected, like let's just do Talissa with the drop down, one character, and we'll have her do a strength check. I'll just go over here. If I can get this camera thing out of my way, and we'll roll for that. And there you go. We got her, and then we'll close it and come back in. And you can see she's selected. Now, at any time, I can clear it by just clicking clear here. Boom, that's going to clear it. There's multiple options here, and you can do them all at the same time if you'd like. We have ability checks, the full gamut of ability checks, the full gamut of saves. We have custom dice rolls with an optional check target and an optional type. I mean, if you wanted to, you could just say, give me everybody that I have selected, roll a die 6. You can just put a die 6 in here. Check target is optional, so is type. Type of roll is whether it's ascending or descending, right, beneath the target. So we could do like 1 die 24 with a check target of 15, descending. So 15 or less succeeds. Lastly, there's an experimental bit in here. I'm going to add more to this. You have to go into the actual options right now. I mean, this could change pretty soon, but right now to enable this, you have to go in and enable experimental. If that's enabled, you're going to see this miscellaneous drop down right here. I have one option in here for surprise. If you're going to use this, uh, whoever that you're selecting to roll supplies, they must, absolutely must have a surprise skill in their inventory. So let me just show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can see he's got a special surprise. The name has to have surprise in it. I do not like doing name matching, but I'm taking out all the white space and special characters and just looking for a surprise right now. So if you have this in there and it's set up correctly, like a correct surprise roll, mine is, target formula of 3 because he's an elf. It's going to usually be target formula of 4 because you're trying to get 3. If it's 1, 2, or 3, you're surprised. But this is an elf, so it's 3. The and it's a type ascending, right? So if you set this up correctly, and we'll just do this for the characters. I'm going to lasso them. We already got that selected. And let's just roll surprise. Okay, so it's waiting on the surprise rolls. Move this thing out of the way. Okay, so we'll do 1. That's for Damien. He failed. Now watch what happens when he fails. He obviously failed, but you know what? It's hard being a DM and remembering who succeeded and who failed. And again, once again, digging through the chat, looking for it. So what I like to do is actually apply just a temporary effect. In this case, just a label, right? It's not adding anything special, although I probably am going to change it to do some of the penalties for being surprised, like being flat-footed, etc. But right now I'm just adding a surprise label and it lasts for 1 round. So if you're in the combat tracker when the next round comes along, this is just going to go away. It just eats itself. So we'll finish rolling for the other characters and they both succeeded. And then we'll just cycle through the combat round and you'll see that effect go away. Yep. So that effect just went away on him, just to confirm that. So there you go. You have an automatic label application on surprise. But again, they have to have that skill in their inventory. It's all, you're feeding it content and the automation knows how to process said content, but that's done that for a very good reason, right? Because there's about 9 billion different ways of implementing things or different variables that change the circumstances of the mechanics. So it's all content driven in that way, but the automation knows how to process what you've typed and what you've entered content wise. I think that pretty much covers it for this. I think it's a pretty nice tool. I've wanted it in my game for a long time, so I'm happy to have it. Um, One last thing I'll mention in here, um, I extended the party stats. I mean, before they used to just be really rudimentary and simple. Well, then I had added these bars right here, right? So there, you have progress bars to be able to see the movement, the health, and the armor damage if you're using armor damage. This is a second edition thing that I have turned on. But you can also turn on more stats, and what this will do is will show you the rations, the water. It'll give you a breakdown of all their abilities. And if you toggle this on, it's stored in local storage. So, the next time I refresh the page and come here, it's going to remember that I like more of those stats on. So they're on. Same thing when I toggle it off. It's going to remember that, hey, just leave them minimized until I turn them on. That's a little bonus right here. There's also the party inventory. I think this kind of slipped through the cracks. I think this is hugely useful. I used it in my game at Fantasy Grounds a lot. I really wanted it for ARS, so I added it. What this is pretty self-explanatory. It just gets every actor that you have in the party sheet, so all your players' characters, it gets all their inventory, it consolidates it and combines it all. So like perfect example is sling bullets. Who has sling bullets? Well, Talissa's got 19, Damien's got 20, and Loman's got 0. And this is for every item, right? So it's just going to give you a combined total of whatever that item type is. It's going to show you who owns it and how much they own, what's the quantity that they own of it. Oh, and Of course, there's filtering at the top, so show me all weapons, show me all magic, right? That's a helpful one right there. And search, right? And now it's good sometimes if you've been in here and had it open a while and players are deleting and moving things from the inventory, you can just hit refresh right here and it will refresh the grid. All right, so that pretty much covers it for some of these new GM tools. I do have more plans to kind of shore up this row right here, but I won't go over that right now. It really, there is one thing I will say is I like the idea of being able to apply effects in bulk without having to go and drag and drop 15 times onto each of the tokens or to the character sheets. I do not like having to do that. So I have something in mind for that that will kind of, ironically, it will kind of um, the Party Rolls app will kind of make use of some of the things I do with that, but it will be sold separately, as it were. It'll be a button sitting to the right, but some of its functionality will be generic and used by other subsystems. So, yeah, that's what we got right now. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll talk to you later.